And while we're doing that, you want to start soaking your beans. So this is our Shana roti, and you'd want to soak this for 24 hours. Let the beans open. I'm not going to soak these because I actually just bought them because I thought they looked nice and added texture to the table. So we'll leave those alone. And then what we want to do is we want to start our dumplings. And our dumplings, as you remember, are going to go in our pati kapora, our kari pakora. And they're just little delicate dumplings. So you want to take a little bit of your flour. You're going to cut that in with some of your shortening. And you moisten that with a little bit of water. And these are really, they're very labor intensive. They're sort of time consuming dumplings. But you know, it's all worth it in the end. And don't those look nice? So we want to start heating up our oil so that we can brown our dumplings. And while we're heating our oil, we'll take a look at our vegetables. So a little bit of oil there. And the vegetables we have on our table right now, we have some red onions, we have some baby eggplants, some white potatoes, some spinach, a green chili pepper. And the vegetables, they're really up to your personal taste, whatever you think would taste good. For example, if you want a more milder dish, as I often do, you'd want to leave out the green chili pepper. Or, for example, none of our dishes call for eggplant, but these eggplant, and they're called Chinese eggplant, they're just so adorable, and I love eggplant. So when I was at the market, I just picked up 4 of them. I thought, why not? So we'll dice up our eggplants, cube our potatoes, slice our onions up real nice and fine, and then our oil is heating up, as you can see. And we'll start browning our dumplings in our oil. And while we get that going, we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. Alright, so typically you'd only have one burner going, but in the interest of time, I have all 4 of mine going. And if you remember, when we left off, we were browning our dumplings in our pan, getting ready for our kari pakora. And so now I have the dumplings simmering in our gravy, and I'm going to add to that our little eggplant. And I diced our eggplants up real nice. And the eggplants I actually had to have delivered by airmail because I went to the market and my usual vendor wasn't there. And you know, his competitor across the way said it was probably dysentery. But it's so unfortunate. I mean, you know exactly what you want and you go to buy it and it's not there. But don't get me wrong, I certainly hope he's feeling better. So anyway, we have our eggplant simmering. We're going to move on to our spinach. And we have our spinach simmering in our pan. And to our spinach, we're going to add our heavy cream. And we're going to add some of our crushed tomatoes. And the thing I really admire about cooking in India is the freshness of the ingredients. That is certainly a pointer that I'm going to take back with me to the States. I mean, we just tend to hoard everything in our monstrous refrigerators. And, you know, we just nuke it in the microwave whenever we want a snack. Just all these ingredients, just the fact that they're all so fresh, it really makes the dish. Alright, so then if you remember, we had our paneer and it was baking in our clay oven. And we're going to go ahead and take that out. Oh, that looks good. And it's been baking for like 3 days or something like that. We're going to go ahead and add that to our oh goodness. We're going to add all those to our tiki masala. And we'll probably need to let those marinate for another couple of hours. So while we're doing that, we will move on to our rice. Oh, and this is a funny story. When I was going to buy the rice, I thought just in case we needed to do like 3 or 4 takes for the show, I would buy like 5 or 6 bags of rice. That makes sense. And the vendor asked me if I was planning for a wedding party. My goodness, I was in quite a pickle there. I mean, how do you explain that it's for a television show? So I just told him I was a humanitarian worker. So we have our rice, and we're going to add our rice to our boiling water. We'll let our rice boil. And while everything's cooking, this is usually the time that I would sit down with like a glass of wine or 2 or 3. But being in India, instead we'll sit down with a cup of tea. And we'll just wait and let everything cook. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Ah, the best part, time to eat. I picked up some naan from the market, and I have just a little scoop of each dish. You know, I made far too much for one person, but now that this meal is done, it's time to start on tomorrow's. You know, it's been a real pleasure living among you and getting the chance to expand my culinary expertise, but I just want to say thank you for joining me for another episode of Cooking at Home. This is Jenny Carolyn bidding farewell to Mumbai.